Salutations, I'm Salutations7, and today we've got Artillery Moze. So this build is a build review. This isn't exactly a build showcase. So, I mean, these also end up being showcase videos, but this is a build review video. So how we're going to run this, I'm going to show you guys what's all on the character. Then we will run the Maliwan takedown, and then maybe some other content. I might go and run some other content. We'll see. And then I will give a breakdown as to my thoughts on the build, how it could improve, or different potential items that you could get to improve the build. And this build was given to me by K9. This is the same person who made the last build for my build reviews. The one that I originally had planned hasn't come out yet because the person who suggested it said they weren't ready, so I am waiting on that. But they should take their time. I scheduled it without thinking about asking if they were ready because they posted it in the chat, and I assumed that it was ready because it's posted in my Discord, which if you guys want your builds reviewed, either hop in the Discord and send them to me, or if you have like a video on them or something, feel free to let me know in the comments. I love supporting other people who make content, so anybody who wants to, you can let me know that you make content, and I might check out your stuff. I probably will. If I notice somebody's name a lot, I'll probably check out their channel and see if they have anything. Even if they don't have any videos, I'll probably just take a look anyways. But I do enjoy showcasing, well, like not just showcasing, but being able to shout out and talk to other creators. So if you happen to make videos on anything, whether it's Borderlands or whatnot, feel free to let me know in the comments. But here's the build. I grabbed the Strevinator. This was because I wanted to use it. I picked it up off the ground while I was testing with K9, and I picked this up, and I was like, this looks like it would do pretty well on here. I'm gonna pick this up, and I'm gonna play with it a little bit, and I want to play with it in here. So we're playing with it at some point, maybe. We'll see if I end up playing with it or not. We have a Guardian Angel with URAD, and we have a Butcher, then we have a Minesweeper, and then we have a Deathless Icebreaker, and then we have a large assortment of grenades. I don't know if I'm going to get to every single one of these, probably not, but I'm definitely going to showcase some of them. And there's a lot of grenades here. There's a couple of repeats and stuff. Like, we have this Torg Exploder here, and then we have a radiation version of the same grenade. We also have a large variation instead of a double mini Merv, which is interesting. We have a nuke, which also sounds super interesting. I grabbed a porcelain pipe bomb. Actually, I think, yeah, everything down here I grabbed. So I grabbed the porcelain pipe bomb, the Merv Widowmaker, the Whispering Ice, and the Core Buster. I grabbed all of these. And these were all grenades that I thought would be a either interesting idea to use or just a fun generalized idea. So they just sounded really cool. Like, again, when was the last time you heard of the Core Buster? Like, I don't ever hear anybody talk about this grenade other than this was a disappointment for the people that actually recognize what the heck I'm talking about when I bring it up. I never hear anybody talk about it unless I bring it up, which is kind of sad because look at that base damage on that grenade. 104k with it being almost 105. And it's also a Merv. It's a Merv grenade. So there's that. And it's a quest reward. Fixed parts. You can get anointments, but it's fixed parts. So it's like, there's no downside to going and grabbing this grenade. And this could be a interesting grenade to play with. So I grabbed it, and we're playing with it. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Actually, now we're gonna open with the showcase grenade here. So this was the grenade that I was originally told to use, and this is just massive splash. There's a lot of splash. So we're gonna see how this does. We have a old God Shield, and then here is the spec. And yeah, let's get started. well, once I press the lever to start. I was curious about something. So I've been going around YouTube and just like checking out people's content, and I came across a video, and I am curious on your guys' opinions on this. So there's not a lot of people that actually like play Guardian Takedown. I could tell you from just even thinking about the matchmaking system. There's very few people who even use the matchmaking system, and even less of them freaking use it for Guardian Takedown. Nobody plays Guardian Takedown, except for people that are insane like me, and actually enjoy the content, which, as stated, insane. So some people say that means I don't have an opinion, which I guess that could make sense. I suppose it's an interesting take to have. But what would your guys' thoughts be on a Guardian Takedown like guide or like tips and tricks video? Just like common use tools for every character that could potentially be really fun to play around with. I had a conversation with a guy the other day, and we went over, like, he made a build, and I was commenting on his video, and I was like, he made a comment in the video talking about how Malawan, like True Malawan, was probably the most difficult piece of content for the build, and I was just like, wait, what? How do you make a build that is more difficult in Malawan Takedown than in Guardian Takedown? I mean, like, in all fairness, I've done it. I mean, I did it with one build, but that's because of barrels and not because of actual difficulty. Like, right here, this would suck. And I guess for this build, it also kind of falls under that same vein. But you're blowing yourself up enough for the barrels to not really matter. You're gonna down yourself before the barrels do. But he made the claim that it was that Malawan Takedown was the most difficult, and then I hopped in his comments. I'm just like, how the heck is Malawan Takedown the most difficult piece of content for this? And this was on like, he was clearing emo, so he was even making the claim that Malawan Takedown was more difficult than Hemo, which I can understand for a lot of builds. Especially if your build is like a bossing based build, that makes sense. Now, when it comes to a lot of stuff that I make, I focus more on the ad clearing side. So bosses tend to be a slight more of a struggle when it comes to the build archetypes that I do. But it doesn't make sense for Guardian to be more difficult than Malawan in a lot of cases. So I dropped that in the comments, and he responded with, well, Guardian Takedown is impossible in solo play. And I was just like, I feel like this comes from a point of it either not knowing the really cool tools, or not wanting to abuse the really cool tools for clearing the content, and because of that, not having an ad clearing threshold of minimum of like bossing level ad clear capability makes it difficult to run the content. And both takes I can understand, and that's why I was just like, it might be a good idea for me to drop a video on it showcasing some cheese or some interesting concepts for taking on Guardian with a core buster. We're trying this out right now. Boom. Blood View. Okay, this not a bossing grenade, I suppose. Ooh, triple sticky. Let's try triple sticky. That didn't one tap. That, I am baffled. That didn't one tap. What the heck? I mean, like, with the amount of praise that people thought with the triple sticky, I'm surprised. I really am. I am very surprised that didn't one tap. But Okay. What's this? Merv bouncing large. What? And it seems to be homing, maybe? Yeah, it's homing. Huh. Interesting grenade. I don't really see this doing too much. Is there a better archetype for this one? Maybe? Oh, wait. This one looks fun. Ooh, fall down. Okay. We're just sprinkling explosions everywhere. Freaking beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. Next stats are right here. Out of grenades, I had 2 left. Wait, does this take more than 2? It takes 3? What? Oh, consumes up to 2. What the heck? We're just gonna collect some grenades then. Okay. Now we're gonna pop this. Boom. Okay. Let's grab... What would be another fun grenade? Ooh, the Nagata. Actually, let's save this for later. Let's grab maybe the Hex. Let's see how the Hex does. I grabbed the Radiation one instead of the Cryo one. I should have grabbed the Cryo one. Oh well. Alright, let's just switch to the Cryo and see if it'll make a difference here. Oh! One rad explosion and they're both dead. I'm over here collecting grenades instead of using the intended methods of Moze to get my grenades back. Tells you how little I play Moze. I have a couple ideas, though, of some things that could definitely improve this. Yes, most definitely. I have a couple of... Okay, let's... Ooh, what's this? This is a longbow? Let's see. So it's a set. It says a singularity longbow. What? What's the point in this? Okay. I've already played with the Quasar in my personal time, and this one is a homing instead of a longbow, which I personally would prefer longbow on a Quasar. So I'm not gonna play with it too much. Let's see here. What's another thing? Ooh, Whispering Ice. Whispering Ice could be super stupid with this. If we get enemies to spawn. Hey, buddy, get away from me. Oh. Something hit me, I suppose. Now, there's a reason why this is artillery Moze. Mostly just lobbing from cover. Whoa, buzz off. Let's try checking this right there. Oh, that was just barely up outside. Hi. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. The only issue that I see is there's no telling when the grenades are gonna end. Especially with landmine ones like the Whispering Ice. Oh. Okay, we did. I was just like, I received notification on my phone. That's never a good thing. That could have been bad. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of people who I play with that just don't know a lot of things about like Guardian Takedown because of just how little people online actually want to play Guardian. And so it's just like, I enjoy playing it. And I know some people enjoy watching it as long as it's not like the full freaking hour run. Okay, let's grab that Core Buster. See how it does here. Oh, I buzz off. You know what? Maybe I should do like a thematic thing. Do like Tips Thursdays or Tips Tuesdays. Well, that would require me to make a video on a Monday. I don't know if I want to deal with that. Let's say, like, really early pre-record that. I don't know if I like that. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see the reception that these comments get, if I get any comments related to this. Alright, so this is another really fun grenade that I like to play with. Let's see how well it does. Because I personally enjoy the Widowmaker. I put this on here. I personally enjoy the Widowmaker. I think it's a really fun grenade. I'm just curious how well it works on here. Of course, it has its own issues, but I find it enjoyable to play with. Pop that right there. It does have that sort of delayed reaction, so it is kind of difficult to use. Especially when there are no ads next to me when I want to freaking hit things with it. I'm dead here, aren't I? Yeah, I'm dead here. I'm dead. My bad. I definitely used the wrong grenade. Entirely my fault. I also played extremely poorly. What the heck? Freaking clickbait from some ordinary gamers. Freaking the internet is dying. Like, what? That's... And then dead internet theory is the thumbnail. I'm definitely gonna go watch that later. Freaking heck, Buddha. Alright, let's see here. Let's just get back to the original basis of the builds and stop me trying to use creative things that are more difficult to use than everything else on the build already. Whoa! Buzz off! Oh, that's not safe. We're not getting back up for a little bit, are we? Okay, there we go. You know, the heavyweights seem to be the scariest things against this build because they love to just, like, jump at you and prevent you from hiding. Which is extremely annoying. Now, K9 wanted me to stress this, that this is a in-development build. So how this is going to work is I'm probably going to post another video on this build a couple months from now when he finishes up the build in its totality and cover if the critiques that I made in this video actually made it into the build, and if so, did they help or did they hurt the build when it comes to the next loop of gameplay. So that was a really cool idea he came up with, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Ooh, you know what? And the Nagata would be really cool here. So the Nagata here, it kind of takes away the artillery side of things and turns it into more like a sniper rifle grenade build. You get a railgun instead of a freaking artillery.
Hell yeah!
Of course, there are less opportunities for you to regain grenades by running it this way, but eh. Which is why I grabbed the Trevinator here. This is constantly dealing splash, which gives us means of destruction procs. Which overall gives us more grenades. One of those hit me. Here, oh my lord. Oh! We hit something, I suppose. What did we hit? How did we hit it? I'm very concerned. Just, here, maybe? Ooh. Well, he's right here. There we go. That was close. And that's the very big danger of this build. Hi. Being short fuse. Dude, stop moving. Stop moving. Or just freaking get in my way, you stupid dog. What do we throw things at over here? There we go. Okay, how do we deal with these guys with this grenade? This? It didn't even kill him. Or come close. Okay, fine. I guess this isn't the grenade to use here. Skip you. Ooh, the Hex does work here as well. Maybe, cryo efficiency on this artifact would, I just need to shut up and get through the run. Good lord. Okay. Now we can switch back to the Nagata. I definitely came home with a very ticked mindset, so that just letting me blow things up in a video game is extremely helpful. This is beautiful. Okay, what's another grenade that we haven't really gotten to yet? I think we've gotten to bomb. I don't remember if we. Oh wait, we used the pipe bomb against Kraken. What else? What else have we not used? Well, I mean, we didn't use the Quasar, but that's because I've already played with it a little bit. I guess we can try it. I don't like the homing Quasar. I prefer a longbow Quasar because I prefer to actually aim. Instead of letting the grenade do everything for me. Let's see, what does it do here? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I mean, of course, it's a single target and whatnot. But no. Okay, so here, this maybe a good spot to switch this grenade. This way we don't have to swap right before we can. And we get more damage this way than running the radiation one. Boom. That was beautiful. Absolutely magnificent. I love it. I love it. Oh, I've had people ask how I shred Wotan's like initial shield so quickly, and I've been slightly confused about that question, just simply because Wotan's shield really isn't that strong. If I remember right, it doesn't even get mayhem scaling. Now, it can be difficult if you're not running mayhem, but if I remember right, it doesn't even get proper mayhem scaling. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Oh, you can go up there? Okay. Artillery. Flop. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Back off. Literally back off. Or don't. That's fine too, I suppose. Where's the idiot with cryo? Right there? He's you. Be nice if... Oh, come back down. Come back down. Alright, sweet. There we go. Alright, let's switch to... Actually, let's switch back to Nagata. Let's see how this does against top half here. If I can land the hits. This is so dumb. I didn't get the procs for most of that. That's really annoying. But oh well. That was a lot of fun. And we are back. So I just transitioned from Maliwan Takedown to the end of the Fervor trial. Now, I definitely am not putting the entire ad clearing section into the video, just simply because that is this video is already long as it is. So we're going to go over this quick explanation. We're already 30 minutes in. So I'm going to do a explanation on the build and then go over my critiques of it and to tell you all of the things that I don't like or would want to change about this build. And then we're going to kill this boss. Or we're going to cut because this took longer than freaking 10 minutes. Maybe. I might cut it. We'll see. I don't want this video to get too long, so there is that. I did already notice a massive dip in views on the Zane video because it's 49 minutes long instead of it being like the 30, 20, 25-ish minutes. So, and that really freaking... that killed the impression rate. But you guys came through and kind of just powered through the impression rate, so definitely kudos to you guys. But we're gonna go over this build. Now, first we're gonna break down how it works. So we have Guardian Angel and we have the URAD, and this pairs well with the Deathless, which is a really nice Deathless. We have an Icebreaker Deathless with grenade damage, cryo damage, which is not helping here, and then AoE, which is giving us that crazy radius. Pairing this with, let's see here, Torg cross promotion, we're getting that 18% chance to double the radius again. That's a lot of radius. That is a lot of radius, and it's probably gonna that definitely is gonna hit most things on the map. Now we also have a Minesweeper, which is giving us that critical hit to drop micro grenades, and this has grenade rolls up the wazoo. Now, I would have to double check if these rolls are natural. I know he save edited this, but I'd have to double check and see if these rolls are natural. I'm not 100%. I don't think I've ever seen a triple grenade roll drop on a Minesweeper. I'd have to go check. I'm probably gonna go farm for one after, and we'll see if I get one, or at least get one in theory. And if I do, I'll probably if I don't, I'll leave a comment. If I do, then it's possible. There we go. If I don't get one, and I find that the statistics on it have been you can't get these specific rolls because of any limiters on it, then I'll leave a comment. And I don't think Loot Limit has anything on this, so I would assume it works. And so because I'm assuming it works, I will only comment that if it doesn't work, if that makes sense. We're gonna keep going here. So we have Deathless, and we have any of these grenades. The anointment, I guess, doesn't really matter. Grenade throw is probably the best right now, but there are definitely some other anointments that I would prefer to have on here or would work better in some scenarios. We have a Radiation Old God, so this shield has a lot of shield value to it. It's a decent base, and then we're getting a lot of turtle. I think he put triple turtle on here. It's another thing. It's like, I don't know if you can get triple turtle. I think you can. I'm actually gonna look that up. So let's see here, Old God. And then, let's see, so variants, that's not helpful, 2 or 3. Yeah, that works. So you can get 3 on here. I forget if you not, so you can get 3 on this one. And so we have access to bonus radiation damage, which is a lot of what's going on. We have URAD, we have radiation grenades, and all sorts of radiation going on here. Now, radiation isn't exactly the primary damage source when it comes to the impact, but those rad-splosions are crazy amounts of radiation damage. So buffing this buffs rad-splosions. It doesn't buff the impact damage of a lot of your grenades. Alright, so going over the skill tree, we have Fire in the Skag Den, which is just default. A lot of the skill trees kind of default when it comes to just being good. Fire in the Skag Den gets Mayhem scaling, so this skill is busted when it comes to incendiary damage. We have Short Fuse, which is busted when it comes to explosions, when it comes to gun damage causing the explosions for a second chance. It just does a lot of freaking explosions. Okay, so we have Holy Pin, which is giving us critical hit chance on these grenades, which is a lot of our damage when it comes to proccing stuff like Hollow Point. This can proc Hollow Point with your grenade, which causes even more explosions. If you couldn't tell the theme by watching the gameplay, this is explosions. That's really just the majority of things. We have Vamp here, but Vamp here isn't doing anything. And we have Why Can't I Carry All These Grenades, which is giving us more grenades, which is helpful to a degree. We have a lot of red trees, so Selfless Vengeance is here to buff incendiary damage or give it to the grenades on impact instead of relying on firing the Skagden, I suppose. I'm trying to rationalize why this is here on the spot, because I don't see it. We have Experimental Munitions, which is even more incendiary damage, which, again, I can't really rationalize too well. I can understand having, because it's just free critical hit damage bonus. This is not so free damage. Even when you're running a Deathless build, this is not so free because this requires you to shoot and reload, which most of the time you're chucking grenades and you're not really worrying about shooting. And so shooting can cause a little bit more danger depending on what weapon you're using. I don't recommend. We have Security Bear, which is helpful for Cub. We have DR here. We have Max Shields, which is buffing both you and Iron Cub. We have Thin Red Line, which is buffing your shields because you're using Deathless. And then we have Force Feedback, which is giving us a lot of survivability by regenerating our shields with our grenades. Then we have Failing Doctrines, giving us a lot of shields. And then we have Tenacious Defense, which is restoring shields if we reach 0. I don't see this helping too much. I mean, it does give that little buffer. It sort of simulates like having a health gate of sorts. I don't really see this being too helpful, though. This is a 30-second duration on that, but I don't really see this being too helpful because you are more likely to down yourself before this procs. And then over to Green Tree, I don't know why we got Russian Offensive, but 3 points to Stoke the Emperors is pretty good. 30% incendiary damage. And then I suppose we got Match Set because this does more than Cloud of Lead, but this isn't doing anything either. So there is that. This isn't doing anything. So we got Stoke the Embers, which is helping a little bit. And then we have Scrappy, which is giving us weapon swap speed, which is helpful. But there isn't too much here. And then 3 points in Big Surplus, which is just another Mayhem scaled skill. So there's a lot of modifications I would make to not only the skill tree, but to some of the items that we have equipped. First of all, we don't need this many points in Red Tree. By God, this is insane. Now, if we were running the Bloodletter half, I can understand. We are running the Bloodletter half, it makes sense, because then we are actually healing off of the amount of damage that we're dealing with our grenades, the amount of times that we're hitting with our grenades, and we're hitting enemies a lot with our grenades. But that's not how the majority of this build archetype is played. You are getting a lot of your damage from Minesweeper, and you are getting a lot of your damage from firing the Skagden. And you are going to nuke yourself no matter how many shields you have. You will just nuke yourself. And no enemies are going to touch you whether you have this amount of shield or not. Doesn't matter. You're going to be nuking them anyways. And with a lot of these grenades, even if you had 0 points put into shield-based skills, you are not going to die to them because you are using Vampire. Vampire is going to keep you alive. Literally all of this tree, except for maybe like the damage type stuff, is completely worthless for your survivability. Now, a lot of this does help Iron Cub, but I would like to offer an alternative. So, again, we're using Iron Cub, which actually like spends the entire duration walking around and shooting things. And that is more damage. It adds another layer of damage, but an alternative that I recommend, at least trying out, is actually using Iron Bear, and instead of shooting, get target softening, have Auto Bear Hop an Iron Bear, immediately get out of Iron Bear, and now you have your cooldown refunded, you have debuffs from your Auto Bear, and look at that, your action skills back up. And I understand, like, a lot of people are like, wait, but big surplus. But you could just get in again and exit again. And this gives you another layer of survivability. And how this happens, let's wait for this timer to come back up again. So, you deal a lot of self-damage, and one of the simplest solutions on Moze to preventing self-damage, chuck this grenade, that would have killed me, but I'm an Iron Bear. I get out of Iron Bear. I am untouched. Absolutely untouched. And if I wanted to get that cooldown a lot longer, so this way I can use the big surplus effect for longer, I can just stay in Iron Bear a little bit longer, or fire projectiles out of Iron Bear, and then that's consuming fuel, and that fuel is what is going to be giving us back our cooldown. So we sit in Iron Bear for a little bit longer, we shoot a little bit, see the fuel going down, we get out. Now the cooldown's longer. And so this is how you can decide how long your cooldown is, instead of just relying on, oh, we need cooldown super long because big surplus. And this gives you a lot more control over what you're doing with your build. Gives you a lot more control over target softening, which makes enemies take more damage, and it allows you to keep yourself up after you chuck a grenade too close to yourself, or you are just like about to die. There's several enemies that are just like swarming you, and you happen to not exactly be in the best point when it comes to survivability, so you just hop an Iron Bear, and now you're safe. It gives you that survivability tool, that little edge against your opponent. And now, that being said, we no longer have a need for this crazy amount of shield that you want. So we could remove Tenacious Defense, we can remove Forceful Feedback, we can remove Phalanx Doctrine, we can remove Thin Red Line, Selfless Vengeance, and then remove Deathless. We can switch out the Deathless, and some of you be like, wait, but URAD. Well, I would actually pose another idea. Instead of using URAD, use Action Skill and Radiation, and grab an anointment like maybe Elemental Critical Hits, because you're dealing that radiation dot, and whenever those dots are applying, you can get those to explode with the Novas, and those Novas will deal splash damage, which then can proc all of your stuff, all of your splash damage stuff again anyways, which can be really fun. And I mean, there are a couple other things that you could do. Let's see here. For example, 75% increased weapon status effect chance and damage, which is going to buff that radiation damage that you're doing anyways. You could do cooldown rate, I suppose. You could do increased damage to boss type enemies. You could do, let's see here, 150 over 90. Although that's not really going to be affecting too much. But the main one that I suggest is elemental crit hits. Either elemental crit hits or 75% increased weapon status effect chance and damage, which I don't see anybody ever use that anointments, like, ever. And I haven't even used it in the builds at all. I think it could be a really awesome skill to use, or an anointment to use, and it's very offbeat, and so you have access to the capabilities of using an anointment like that and not being at that much of a deficit. You're losing, what, 50% radiation damage, when most of your actual impact damage is coming from firing the Skagnet. And URAD is buffing, what, your Radiation Nova, which is already going to be scaled based off of all the other damage you're dealing on your impact. And all you need that radiation for is applying the status effect. And so 75% increased status effect chance, that's a lot. You're going to be guaranteeing that radiation chance. So I think that's going to be a lot more of an effective ad clearing tool for that, in that regard. Now, when it comes to replacing this, I would say probably an Atom Bomb Victory Rush would be really good, getting radiation damage, grenade damage, AoE. And that way you have access to your good passives. You're increasing your radiation damage a little bit more to make up for that lack of URAD. And you're getting those crazy Novas and Nova damage because Atom Bomb is buffing that Rad Explosion. So we're getting a lot more radiation-based effects while still having radiation without having URAD. And if you couldn't tell, if we want to count this cooldown, this is less than 15 seconds. If we hop out, this is less than 15 seconds. It's like 10 seconds. And so we can cycle that radiation by just constantly getting in and out of Iron Bear. Or if you've already applied the radiation status effect, you don't need it anymore for increasing your impact damage. Sure, it's nice, but it's not needed. And so you can get away with it shooting those extra projectiles out and preventing your cooldown from being really fast, so this way you get more access to big surplus longer. And it allows you to space out your Iron Bear a little bit if you want to play it that way. I still suggest having it on standby for when you accidentally throw that grenade way too close and you need to get in, or you are really close to getting down to get in. And so when it comes to shield, this old god is cool. I don't recommend Turtle if you're not running a Deathless. I would recommend either Capacity or some other effects that would be nice. Like, let me pull up the old god again. Old god. Not old golds. That's not a thing. Okay, augments. So adaptive is actually pretty cool. It increases your max HP, but healthy is also pretty cool because it, again, increases your max HP. Let's see here. Capacity is the big one. Capacity would be really good because then you get up to 75% increased shield capacity without the minus health deficit. So that this way you can keep your health gate while also having a relatively decent shield without having to put so many points in the red tree. So we can gut red tree and be just as well off. No Selfless Vengeance, no Thin Red Line, no Phalanx Doctrine, no Forceful Feedback, and no Tenacious Defense. And we'll still be just fine. We just get full can. This way, every time we are exiting Iron Bear, we still have that shield recharge rate, which is amazing. And then we can put more points over here into Scorching RPMs. Now, I would take a point at our Russian offensive and put a point in Daka Bear. This way, in case you spend a lot of that fuel and you want to at least tough out a little bit of the early, in case you chuck the grenade directly after you get out of Iron Bear, you can hop in Daka Bear and it'll protect you just as well as getting in Iron Bear will. So I would replace Russian Offensive with Daka Bear. Russian Offensive isn't even helping you that much here because you're getting a whole bunch of lifesteal from Vampire. This isn't giving you that much lifesteal because you're already getting a lot with Vampire. And we already have a lot. We're not going to be running and shooting. We're not going to be running and shooting very often. We're going to be chucking nades, sure, but you're not sprinting to shoot. So you don't need to be able to shoot and sprint at the same time. Now, Scorching RPMs, this helps a lot with your impact damage, which is something I've noticed is a little bit lacking. That initial impact. We have a lot of like, ooh, we procced these crazy splash damage bonuses and now everything blows up. But that initial impact damage, if it doesn't proc all of your stuff, then it's not doing as much. So Scorching RPM is going to increase your critical hit damage, which I understand it's another thing that's proccing, but it gives you an opportunity for that crit to be able to give you a little bit more. And this is a 25% chance off of a 30% chance to proc the micro grenade. So adding a little bit guaranteed bonus critical hit damage is very much a massive DPS increase, especially since you don't have anything else that's increasing your critical hit damage. I am actually, let's see here, not Guardian Angel, Minesweeper. Let's double check. I can't spell. Let's double check and see if we can get Hyperion crit. If we can get Hyperion crit, manufacture Hyperion weapon damage, fiery Hyperion crit. Yes, Hyperion crit is one of the passives. So 64% Hyperion crit would also apply to the grenades that you're throwing as long as you are holding the Guardian Angel. So maybe having a passive with critical hit damage, instead of, honestly, I would sack grenade capacity because you're already getting a lot of grenades. But yeah, I would sack grenade capacity here and hopefully look for Hyperion crit. This way we are getting that bonus critical hit damage from just holding the Guardian Angel. So we're at 10%, we're at 74% critical hit damage. And then Scorching RPM is a little bit less, but it's still very helpful to have, giving us that increased critical hit damage. And now we still have half of Red Tree to play with, and all we did was put 5 points in Scorching RPM, so we have 10 points left. Because I'm pretty sure it's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. So we just spent 5 points here, and then we moved 1 point, so we didn't spend anything extra, so we still have 10 points to use. And I would probably put them in Biofuel, get double time, and then there isn't really much else that I'd want. Yeah, not really. Maybe get Drowning in Brass, because this is a global buff, so it's honestly, maybe even keeping the Selfless Vengeance points isn't a bad idea, but you don't need all of these points here. There may not be very many other places to put them, but I personally see running this as a playstyle as a deficit in comparison to this being beneficial. Especially with the way that this build is kind of built around, and the survivability issues that he was already having when it comes to running this build. I don't see Red Tree helping. I see it being a major deficit to survivability. Now, let's get into this run. I am going to switch back to Iron Cub because that was what was on here default, and we're going to switch back to active tracking because that's what's on here default. And let's run Hag of Fervor on True. I just spent 20-something minutes doing this explanation that I thought wouldn't take very long. Let's see, can we get like, oh! We got damage. We got damage! We're not dealing very much damage initially. And dead. Yeah, we really just need everything to proc. And when everything procs, the boss just dies. And that applies to just about everything. That is Moze. And just to double confirm that I activated True, let's fast travel to the beginning. And let's walk over to this button and show you that it's on True. It's on True. Right here. Yeah. This build works just fine. I just have personal critiques because I don't see this as a very survivable build when it comes to casual gameplay. I know a lot of people would struggle playing with this build, and he himself has been struggling with this build when it comes to the gameplay side, so using Red Tree as a crutch on Moze actually can be a deficit to a lot of players, and I very commonly see that as an issue. So, I recommend, instead of dunking points into Red Tree as a Moze player, try to use a build that is not Red Tree focused and doesn't involve Thin Red Line, doesn't involve a Deathless, and doesn't involve sacking your HP to give you shields. Even if you want to go all the way down to Phalanx Doctrine and get that, or get all the way down to Tenacious Defense, try a build without using Thin Red Line and without using any like a health stacking items, and give that a shot, because running a build that still has access to a health gate can be a bit more effective for survivability than dunking literally everything into some sort of shield increasing skill. And yeah, that's how I'm going to end this off. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and let me know if you guys want a Guardian takedown tips and tricks for all of the characters. I might do it separately for each character, or I might just do it on one video. We'll see. That's up to you guys' comments, probably. That also depends on how much content I'd have to cover. But I hope I see y'all in the next video. See y'all.